From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, May 27th. You're going to need the rain gear again today, but not for a while. This afternoon is when some rain and storms will gradually inch their way into central Indiana. Our meteorology team says that it'll be around mid-afternoon. The highs will stay on the warmer side. We're topping out in the upper 70s to mid-80s. And now to the untold stories of the downtown riots. This morning, for the first time, we're hearing what it was like from the police perspective. Saturday will mark 1 year since the protests that followed the death of George Floyd. It started peacefully. People marched the streets carrying Black Lives Matter signs. Unrest then sparked within the crowds, turning into 2 nights of riots. It's hard to forget the images of shattered business windows and dumpsters on fire. And as rioters met with police, officers deployed pepper balls at the crowds. According to IMPD, 30 businesses and 5 IMPD cars were damaged on the first night. Data from IMPD and jail records show 60 people were arrested for rioting charges after the violence ended. IMPD says 8 of their officers were hurt over the course of the riots. While signs of the violence downtown, like broken glass and boarded up stores, are virtually gone now, the memories of that weekend are still raw for police. As Hannah Mordeau reports, some of them feel their side of the story hasn't been told.
The sights, fire-filled silhouettes, endless crowds. The sounds, shattered glass, gunfire, and the picture of police. Head to toe in riot gear. Impossible for any of us to forget, even law enforcement.
So we had 4 people shot, 2 lost their lives during the riots.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police.
Many officers have shared that on those 2 nights, they did not believe that they were going to go home.
He represents those IMPD officers and their stories from those nights.
We had officers that were pinned down by gunfire that had rocks, bricks, frozen water bottles thrown at them.
Oh, projectiles at the police car, my gosh.
IMPD says 8 officers were hurt physically. But mentally, many say the trauma is ongoing.
Any officer that was down there and actively involved in it would tell you it was a complete war zone.
I asked IMPD if some of their officers could speak, but they said because of pending lawsuits, no one could talk. Still, the FOP says true transparency would be for the public to hear all of the 911 calls.
There were over 8,000 911 calls that occurred over that time span.
We've requested those tapes and police radio traffic, but none have been made public this past year.
Play the tapes, play the radio traffic of the officers screaming for help, repeatedly calling out shots fired, that they were pinned down by gunfire, that they couldn't escape, and that, in fact, no one could even get to them to rescue them. But yet our politicians haven't allowed those tapes to be released. We ask the question, why?
Instead, this 42-page report is public, saying a repeated lack of guidance, communication, and planning from police and the mayor allowed downtown Indianapolis to be engulfed in violent behavior. For police, Black Lives Matter! It sheds light on a bigger issue.
We've been consistent in saying it's our officers and our residents that are stuck in the middle of the violence that's throughout our community, not just during the riots.
Again, that was Hannah Mordeau reporting. Police agree there is still a lot that we all can learn from what happened a year ago. We at News 8 will continue to cover more on what's changed in the last 365 days. For the rest of the week, you can follow all of our stories along with us on wishtv.com. And this morning, a community activist is using strong language to describe Indianapolis following a very violent day. IMPD responded to 4 different shootings yesterday. They happened on the Near East side of the city. Here's Charles Harrison with the Indy 10 Point Coalition expressing his concern to his Twitter following.
Indianapolis has become a war zone. We're seeing levels of violence that this city has never seen before.
Harrison finishes the video saying he fears we have not seen the worst of it in Indianapolis. And the city's mayor and police chief are also pleading with people to stop the violence. Mayor Joe Hogsett and Chief Randall Taylor were in different neighborhoods near East New York and North State Streets hosting public safety walks. Hogsett says that engaging neighbors is a critical part of reducing crime. Chief Taylor hopes building trust and connecting with the community both bring an end to the violence.
What we're doing is what we can do. I mean, we're patrolling, we're getting out, we're talking to people.
Those are the things we can do. We can't stop people, unfortunately, that have the mindset that they need to pull weapons or shoot weapons because they're upset over whatever.
The mayor is encouraging everyone to get to know their local officers and share information to help make Indianapolis safer. And that starts with the investigations into the 4 shootings Wednesday. That gun violence left 1 person dead and 5 others hurt. The latest was around 8 o'clock last night. Police were called to an address that matches the Motor 8 Inn on Shadeland Avenue. Police say 1 person was found shot there at the scene. 2 others showed up at Community Hospital East hurt. Around 3:30 Wednesday afternoon, a person was critically wounded in a shooting at West Montgomery Park on the east side. Police think that 1 person in a car shot at another person in a car. Fewer than 3 hours before that, a woman was killed in a shooting on John Marshall Drive North near 38th and Mithofer. She was pronounced dead at the scene. That was the 4th person fatally shot in the area since Friday. As we talked about on the podcast early yesterday morning, a 5-year-old girl was hit by gunfire while she was inside an East Side home. That happened around 1 a.m. on East 42nd Street between Post and Mithofer. That girl was shot in the leg. Police tell us she is stable at Riley Hospital for Children. As for those responsible for all of the shootings yesterday in Indianapolis, police have not announced any arrests. And police do say they have arrested 7 people in the theft investigation that netted more than $14,000 in stolen clothes. Investigators say 2 people came up from Kentucky to steal the clothes from the outlet mall in Edinburgh and at a mall in Greenwood. No word yet on specific charges. And now for a sign of progress in the fight against COVID-19. There is no orange or red on the state's metrics map if you've been following along on those colors. The state health department reports that all counties in Indiana are blue or yellow. This is a good thing. Marion, Hamilton, and Vanderburgh counties are blue, the lowest level. That means there are less than 10 new cases per 100,000 and people who live in each community. Lake and St. Joseph counties are both yellow. That indicates fewer than 100 cases per 100,000 people. The American Academy of Pediatrics is updating its mask-wearing guidance for children. The AAP says children 2 years old or older should wear masks while in school, childcare programs, and summer camps. According to the Academy, that should continue until a COVID-19 vaccine is available for all ages. The group adds people who are not fully vaccinated should continue to wear masks indoors when around people not in their household and outdoors with large groups. That guidance is in line with the CDC's latest recommendations. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita says Indiana University's policy on COVID-19 vaccines violates a newly passed law. Rokita shared an opinion on the matter yesterday. Rokita says under House Bill 1405, state or local units are prohibited from issuing or requiring a document showing a person's immunization status. According to Rokita, IU and other public schools fall under the category of a state unit. Indiana University officials are pushing back against that idea. They cite a co-author on the bill who says it does not apply to state universities and colleges. The university also says their coronavirus vaccine policy is similar to the other 6 vaccinations required by state law. As we've reported on News 8, all students and university staff at IU must be vaccinated if they want to be on campus in the fall. President Biden is ramping up efforts to determine the origins of the coronavirus. The president's asking U.S. intelligence agencies to redouble their efforts. They have 90 days to report back. In a statement, Biden says the intelligence community has coalesced around 2 likely scenarios: that the coronavirus either came from human contact with an infected animal or from a laboratory accident in Wuhan, China. Health experts and lawmakers agree there does need to be an investigation.
And the way to know is to go there, sequence all these early viruses, and see how things went from bats to humans, and perhaps with an intermediate host.
I believe what most likely happened is there was an accidental leak followed by a criminal cover-up.
The Senate passed legislation last night requiring the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to declassify information about the origins of COVID-19. Senator Mike Braun of Indiana sponsored that bill. And we are learning the names of the 8 people killed in a rail yard shooting in San Jose. The people were identified by the Santa Clara County Coroner's Office and range in age from 29 to 63 years old. We have all of these names on wishtv.com. Now, the shooting happened around 6:30 Wednesday morning at a public transit rail yard. The Santa Clara County Sheriff says the shooter, Sam Cassidy, took his own life after deputies got there. Cassidy was a Valley Transportation Authority employee. According to the mayor of San Jose, the victims knew Cassidy.
These folks were heroes during COVID-19. The buses never stopped running. VTA didn't stop running. They just kept at work. And now we're really calling on them to be heroes a second time to survive such a terrible, terrible tragedy.
Officials say at the same time as the shooting, firefighters were responding to a house fire at a property owned by Cassidy. According to the Gun Violence Archive, this is the 232nd mass shooting in the United States this year. President Biden is ordering flags to be flown at half-staff nationwide. Construction at an Amazon warehouse is halted after the discovery of a noose. Authorities in Connecticut say it is the 8th noose found on the property in a month. A 7th noose was found last week, prompting additional security to be on hand there at the site. Police are treating it as a hate crime. Amazon and the construction company are offering a $100,000 reward for anyone with information. And today, a showdown on Capitol Hill. The Senate will vote to decide whether to move forward with a commission looking into the January 6th riot. As of this morning, only a few Republican senators are voicing some support for the bill, including Utah Senator Mitt Romney and Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski. The bill needs the support of at least 10 Republicans to pass. The proposal passed through the House with a 252 to 175 vote. Indiana Senator Mike Braun and 14 other Republican senators are set to meet with the mother of fallen Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick before today's vote. Officer Sicknick was injured during the insurrection and died the next day. A medical examiner ruled that Sicknick died from natural causes after suffering a stroke. A source who knows about the meeting tells CNN that 13 Republican senators declined to meet with Sicknick's mother. Former Vice President and Governor Mike Pence now lives in Carmel. According to our partners at the Hamilton County Reporter, Pence and his wife registered to vote last month in the Clay Center precinct in the western part of Carmel. Pence is originally from Columbus, Indiana. He is currently working with the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation. And the author of a beloved children's book has died. Eric Carl's team announced on Twitter that he passed away Sunday. Carl wrote and illustrated more than 80 children's books in his career. His most enduring work is The Very Hungry Caterpillar, first published in 1969. It has since been translated into 66 languages and has sold more than 50 million copies. Eric Carl was 91 years old. And as the hours wind down until the highly anticipated airing of the Friends reunion, a new report finds 2 of the show's stars are distant relatives. MyHeritage.com found Matthew Perry and Courtney Cox are 11th cousins. The genealogy website says they are related to William Osborne Haskell III and Ellen Haskell. The Haskells were married in England around 500 years ago. Perry and Cox played the Chandler Bing and Monica Geller on the popular sitcom. The two become a couple halfway through the series.
Country's hottest duo is back.
Florida Georgia Line is coming to Central Indiana. The country music duo is bringing their I Love My Country tour to Noblesville. They'll perform at Ruoff Music Center on October 2nd. Tickets go on sale next Friday morning at 10 o'clock. All right, now to some business headlines for you this morning. Initial unemployment claims likely dipped for a 4th consecutive week last week, setting a new 14-month low. 425,000 filings are expected versus 444,000 during the prior week. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, half of all Americans have now received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. This has, in turn, slowed the pace of layoffs. FedEx is struggling to deliver packages on time. This is according to industry data, as a pandemic-fueled increase of online orders continues to tax the delivery giant's network. From March through mid-April, about 87% of FedEx ground shipments arrived on time, compared with 95% for the similar service at UPS. The coronavirus pandemic has been especially tough on women, who are still bearing the brunt of the demands of childcare and housework. About 400,000 more women than men have left the workforce since the start of the pandemic. The percentage of women in the paid labor force hasn't recovered from the steep drop in the spring of 2020. The Care Economy Business Council was created by the Time's Up advocacy group, which advocates for gender equality in the workplace. A new survey conducted for Bloomberg by Chorus shows that people who are subscribing to more services than they were a year ago, and their budgets have gone up too. Viacoms have said consumers will eventually have 5 or more streaming subscriptions, up from 3 or 4 right now. If given $50 to spend on streaming, more consumers say they would choose Netflix over any other. Requests for mortgage applications fell 4.2%, according to the Mortgage Banker Association's weekly survey. This was just in the past week. Mortgage applications have gone down as homes are in short supply. Now to some sports headlines for you. High praise from one Colts great to another as Adam Vinatieri retires. Reggie Wayne posted to Twitter after the announcement in part, "People use the term greatest of all time loosely these days, but Vinatieri is truly a GOAT." Vinatieri has not kicked in the league in more than a year, but had left open the possibility of a return until yesterday. He formally announced his farewell on the show of his former holder, Pat McAfee. Vinatieri is the league all-time leading scorer with more than 2,600 points. He played 24 seasons and won 4 Super Bowls, 1 with the Colts and 3 with another AFC team. Vinatieri will be eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2025. A new installation downtown is helping kick off Indy 500 race weekend. It's called Project Green Means Go. Mountain Dew is behind it. It'll include 500 green flags that feature messages of support for race fans. You can find it in Celebration Plaza at White River State Park. A ceremony is scheduled for 2 this afternoon to dedicate the project. Indy 500 driver Marco Andretti will also be there. He'll be presenting Gleaner's Food Bank with a $20,000 check on behalf of Mountain Dew. And Wish TV has you covered for the 105th running of the Indianapolis 500. We'll give you access you wouldn't have behind the scenes without Daybreak Race Day. Coverage from inside and outside the track starts at 5 o'clock Sunday morning. Our team is gathering the drivers, officials, and stories that stand apart to deliver that pre-500 feel to your home. Check in at any time through noon Sunday on Wish TV or just stream it on wishtv.com. And finally, one of those behind-the-scenes looks. This year's race is already making history before the green flag waves. The first ever female driver-owner duo qualified for the Indy 500. News 8's Olivia Ray introduces us to the trailblazers of Peretta Autosports.
Over a century of rich racing tradition embraces a new beginning this month.
All right, ladies, it's bump day. Let's do this.
The first ever female-led, female-driven, female-dominated team held their breath in the final seconds of bump day. And as the number 16 Chevy, driven by Simona Di Silvestro, found its way into the show, their tears fell as a dream, generations in the making, became a reality.
This is a bunch of women who've been working very, very hard for years and years to acquire the skills and the experience to be able to get the nod to be on the team. They just believed that the idea mattered, and they believed in us, and here we are.
The opportunity that Beth has created is amazing, and hopefully along this journey will inspire so many young girls to just be whoever they want to be.
Since January, when Roger Penske announced he was backing the bid of a brand new team named Peretta Autosport, team owner Beth Peretta has carefully handpicked crew members to not only put a competitive car in the biggest race in the world, but to shatter a few glass ceilings while she was at it.
If you look at the girls, changing the tires, they're just ridiculously fast, and they just took the opportunity that they were given, and they're showing that they're capable of. And I think it's a special movement.
We were all those little girls at once too, so I think it's definitely special. There was a tweet yesterday with a little girl that had a side braid, because some of the crew members have side braids, and it's really cool that people are actually noticing.
If we see us, you can be us, and we didn't do anything crazy to get here, and we're hard working, and we're here to prove that you can do whatever you want to do. The sky's the limit, right?
Whether this Sunday ends in a trip to victory lane or not, this May counts as a win for the ladies paving the way at Peretta Autosport. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And we are heading full speed into race day. We've got you covered when it comes to getting ready tonight. Join us at 6:30 for All Access Indy the 500. It'll be right on Wish TV. This has been your News 8 Daily. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com. allindianapodcastnetwork.com.